All right. Okay, parents, we are doing multi-step word problems in math. And so I'm going to show you guys what we did in class today and walk you guys through how to do it at home. Your child was sent home with the same exact paper, so they're more than welcome to practice it again and change the numbers. All right, so the first thing I tell them to do is read the problem one time. Jess has 193 beads. She bought a pack of 500 beads. Let me make sure this is recording. Recording? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry, guys. She used 260 beads to make bracelets. How many beads does Jess have now? Once they read it the first time, they'll go back and read it again, and this time they're going to pause and kind of figure out if something's a part, is it a whole, what's missing, what are they adding, what are they subtracting. So Jess has 193 beads. She has 193 beads. She bought a pack of 500 beads. Bought is a key word, so I have them put an addition symbol. She used 260 beads. Used 260. Used tells us that they're subtracting the 260. And how many beads does Jess have now? So we are looking for that now, which is going to be a part, which I've explained to them in class that it's a part. So we know that this 193 beads up here is also a part. These are one of the more complicated problems because they're adding and subtracting. There is no whole, which the kids understand that for the most part. If they're adding and subtracting, you now know that every single thing in your problem is going to be a part. So they can go ahead and label that each one of these is a part. And I like to do it in different colors. So if they have different colors at home, they're more than welcome to try to do it with different colors. So now that we have it labeled, we move on to our representation. When you're representing the problem, they're using a strip diagram to represent it and a number line representation. So since we're adding and subtracting, we'll have two numbers on the top and two numbers on the bottom. The first number that's going to go on the top is 193 beads because that's what she started with. That's what Jess started with, 193. And then Jess bought a 500 pack of beads. Now, I like to put in a little addition symbol up here because I know that these two numbers will have to be added. Jess then used 260 of her beads. And then Jess is going to be left with X amount of beads we don't know. So that is an example of how the strip diagram should look if there's addition and subtraction. And I do tell them to go ahead and put a subtraction sign right next to that. 260, whatever they're subtracting. After that, they can go ahead and do a line representation. This is just another way to represent their problem. Oh, and don't forget to make sure that they have their number sentence at the top. So we know that 193, let me do it in the color. 193 plus 500 minus 260 is going to give us that missing piece, okay? So make sure that they do have the number sentence too. Now, when they're representing it on the number line, they are not solving it. This is just another way to show a representation. So they will start with adding. When they're adding, they know that they need to start at the beginning of the number line. So I'm going to go with 193. I keep forgetting the colors. 193. I know that I'm adding 500, so I'm going to go ahead and hop 500. Remember, they're not solving. So all they're doing is just showing me with their number sentence on the line, the number line. And then they know that they're going to have to subtract after that, which is going back. And they're going to subtract 260. And that's when they end it right there and put a question mark because that's going to be their answer in the end. No solving up there in the representation. After they do the representation, we move to the solution strategy. Since this is a multi-step word problem, they're going to have to split their paper into two because they're going to be adding and they're going to be subtracting in some, or they're going to be having to add 2 times or subtract 2 times. So at the top, I told them to just go ahead and write step 1 and step 2. Step 1, we know that we're going to do the first part, which is 193 plus 500. They're going to write the number sentence, 193 plus 500. after they do 193 plus 500, give me 1 second. Oops. All right, so after they do 193 plus 500, they can use any strategy to solve their problem. So I'm going to show you the number line strategy that they've been learning in class. They're going to have their first number line. They're always going to start with the bigger number. I'm adding, so I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to start with 500 since that's the largest number. On the second number, they need to break that down. I tell them break it down kind of in expanded form. 100, 90, and 3. They're going to start with 100. So we are going to hop plus 100. 500 plus 100 is going to give them 600. Then they must hop again plus 90. 600 plus 90 is going to give them 690. Then they must hop again plus 3. 690 plus 3 is going to give them 693, and I have them circle it. But they're not finished. They must do their step number 2 because now they have to subtract, okay? So they're going to take that 693. They're going to write their new number sentence. 693 minus 260 is going to give them their answer. Draw their number line. I'll do another number line for this one. Or actually, let's not do a number line. I'm going to show you a different strategy. We call this one the decompose strategy. So we are going to do the decompose strategy for this one. They're going to start with 693. Again, they need to make sure that they break this number down. 200, 60, and 0 ones. We're going to start with 693 minus 200. So 693 minus 200 is going to give us 493. They're going to take that 493, move it down, and subtract their tens, which is going to be 60. When they take away the 60 from their tens, they're going to be at 433. And then there's no ones, but I'll just put it here so that they know. 433 minus their 0 ones is going to still give us 433 in the end. They're going to circle that. And on the bottom, they're going to write answer 433. So this is the number line method that they were shown in class. This is the decompose method that they were shown in class. They're more than welcome to use the same method on both step 1 or step 2. Or if they want to mix it up a little bit, they can also do that. So that is more one of the complicated ones because they're adding and subtracting. Let me show you the second one, and they can use this video to check their work as well. Check their work, follow along, anything. So for problem number 2, they're going to read it. There are 150 students on the playground. Instantly, when I start reading this, 62 students are on the slides, 35 students are on the swings. The rest of the students are jumping rope. I tell them that we know that there are 150 students, but now they are taking some of these students and they're in different areas, which tells me that 150 students is going to be the whole. Now, each one of these represents a part. And I'm going to just keep doing it in different colors for y'all. And the rest of the students are jumping rope. The rest, they didn't give us a number, but I still know that this is a part and it's a missing part because we don't know how many students are jumping rope. We must solve for that. Now, there is an anchor chart in the back that they use. And in order to get their part, they know that whole minus part will give them the missing part. that's when they do their number sentence. So again, we're going to go whole, which is 150, minus part, which is 62, minus another part, which is 35, equals a part. Now they have their number sentence. Now they can move on to representing it. When they represent their problem, again, it's strip diagram and number line. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys the strip diagram and number line. We've got our whole at the top. Some of the students like to do the whole at the bottom. Either is fine. I've got 150 in there. I've got 62. I've got 35. And then I've got the missing part. Okay. Now after that, they can go ahead and represent it on the number line. Since we're subtracting, we'll start with 150 at the back. We know we're going to have to hop 62. We know we're going to have to hop 35. And we know after that, we're going to get our answer. We know right here we're going to end up getting an answer as well, which you'll see when we solve it. But after the final hop, it will be the answer. All right, let's go ahead and solve it. Again, we're going to split it down. We've got step 1, we've got step 2. We're going to start with our number sentence, 150 minus 62. And I'm going to show you this third strategy, which is going to be the base 10 block strategy. Hundreds, tens, and ones. We're going to build 150. So 0 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones, and 100. Now, since I have 2 ones here and 60 tens, we start with the ones. I don't have enough ones. So they must borrow from the tens place, and they model their thinking. They take a 10 away, draw an arrow, and 10 ones, 4, 8, 9, and 10. Now I can take away from my ones place. 1, 2. I like to have them put the number at the end so they can count how much they have. They have 8 left. Now we have to borrow from the hundreds because we don't have 60 tens here. We only have 4. So we must X, draw an arrow. 100 will give us 10 rods. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we can subtract the 60. So I'm just going to go ahead and X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Almost did 7. Only 6. And then go ahead and count what you have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and write it underneath, which you can see right here. Equals 88. They know that they're going to take this number that they get here, because that is what this was showing us here. We subtracted the 62, we got 88. Now we still have to do the second part and subtract 35. So we're going to have 88 minus 35 this time. And that is going to give us our answer. We will do the number line strategy to solve this one so that you guys can see that one. We'll start with a bigger number, which is going to be 88. We're going to subtract. I've broken it down. I must subtract my 30. So the only place that should move is the tens place. That'll put me at 58 because 8 minus 3 gives us 5. The ones place won't move. And then I must subtract my 5 ones. Some of them can do all of it. Some of them need to break it down by hopping 1, 1, 1 until they've hopped 5 times. I'm just going to go ahead and do minus 5 and end up with my answer, 53, which I circle. I write answer at the bottom, 53. All right. For problem number 3, I am only going to walk your child right now. This is when you guys can pause and let them listen. I'm going to walk them through getting to their number sentence, and then I want them to try the strip diagram, the number line representation, and solving on their own for both problem 3 and problem 4 on the back. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this started. Carlos had 455 baseball cards. He received 127 more baseball cards as a birthday present. He gave 45 baseball cards to his friend. How many baseball cards does Carlos have now? All right, so let's read it again and let's pause and kind of understand what's happening here. So Carlos had instantly tells me that he's not going to end up with 455 baseball cards, which kind of gives me a clue that it's just going to be a part in the problem. Had 455. He started with it. Oh, I just pressed my pen down too much. He started with it. That's going to be a part. Carlos received 127 more. Okay. Adding 127 is another part. Now, he gave his friend 45 baseball cards. Gave is our key word. He subtracted another part. How many baseball cards does Carlos have now? We are looking for a missing part. All right. Now I'm going to help you build your number sentence, and then we're going to move on to the next problem. Now, we know part plus part minus part will equal part. Now I want you to put the numbers right underneath for your number sentence. Do your strip diagram and do your number line representation. Split your paper into 2. Step 1, step 2, and see if you get the answer, okay? Same thing for problem 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at problem 4. Addie had some Squishmallows. Turn this light on. There we go. Addie had some Squishmallows. She has 89 fox Squishmallows. She has 37 frog Squishmallows. She has 76 dog Squishmallows. How many Squishmallows does Addie have? Okay, let's read it. So Addie has some. Do we know how many Squishmallows Addie has in all? No, we don't know how many she has in all, so we know that this is going to be the whole number, and it's missing. All right. Now, we know Addie has 89 of the fox ones, so that's a part of the whole. We know Addie has 37 frog ones. That's another part in the whole. And we know Addie has 76 dog ones, and that is going to be another part in the whole. Now, we're trying to figure out how many does Addie have in all. That's that in all. And we're going to be looking for that whole. Question mark, question mark. Now, again, guys, think back to this anchor chart that we have back here. If I'm missing the whole, what would my number sentence look like? Think about it. Our number sentence is going to be part. We're going to have to add up all these parts to get how many she has in all. Part plus part plus part equals whole. So now you're going to build that number sentence, your strip diagram, your line representation, split your paper into 2, and solve. All right, and if you guys have any questions, try watching the video and reach out to me if you have any questions. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.